Om ajïäna-timirändhasya jïänäïjana-çaläkayä cakñur yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namna Gaure Tvishe Namaha. We are in Chapter 2, Science of Soul, or contents of Gita summarized. We remember that Arjun was very sad and he said he will not fight. And he goes to Krishna and gives his logic, gives his reasoning why he does not want to fight. And Krishna, and then he looks at Krishna, and Krishna is just looking at him. He's not speaking anything. And then Arjun says, why don't you speak? Please speak and please guide me. And then Arjun says, I am your disciple. I take your refuge. Please guide me at this time. I do not know. I am very conflicted. So please guide me what I should do, what should be the right thing for me. And at that time, Krishna takes the charge and then he starts speaking. Krishna says, Sanjay Uvacha, Sanjay is narrating the whole story, and Sanjay told Dhritarashtra, this is what the condition right now is. Arjun is very, very sad and Krishna is not going to speak. And Krishna starts saying that, Shloka number 11, he says, Arjun, you're talking like a very learned man, I understand. But whatever you are mourning for is not even worthy of grief. What are you mourning for? He says, the wise people do not lament, neither for the living, nor for the dead. He goes on saying one thing, O Arjun, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. O Arjun, we are going to live. I have lived, you're going to live. Everybody is going to live. So first of all, Krishna and Arjun, they established the duality, that Bhagwan is always there. And the ansh of Bhagwan is the part of Bhagwan, that is us, living entities. Bhagwan, God, is always there, and we are his part and parcel. We will always be there too. So this duality, Bhagwan is established. And before that, Arjuna also established the duality. Arjuna says, you are Guru, I am disciple. These two shlokas are very important here. Because there is a Brahmavadi explanation of this whole thing. Mayawadi, as everywhere you will see they use the word Mayawadi, Mayawadi, Mayawadi. It is also called as Brahmavadi. In Brahmavadi explanation, Mayawadi, Brahmavadi is, as far as the theory goes, it's the same. The names have been changed. When they say Mayawadi, it means the knowledge is there, but it has been covered by Maya. That is why the true knowledge that Bhagwan also exists and the living entity also exists. One is Paramatma, the other is Atma. They both will always exist. So this whole knowledge gets covered up by Maya, whereby they say Bhagwan is also Brahma. Brahma means formless. And Jivatma, living entity, is also Brahma. You are also formless. When you become liberated, Brahma is a super conscious energy. That is why it is formless. You are also, as Atma, are super conscious energy. So you will mix up in that bigger super conscious energy and you will become one with him, and you are liberated. So and then those people who believe in this theory, then they take it furthermore. They'll say, you are also gods. There is no such thing called God, separate concept. Every human being is God. You are God. But here, this is not being established. God is God. Krishna is Krishna. Arjuna is Arjuna. Arjuna is not saying, the Brahma inside me wants the guidance from the Brahma inside you. Brahma means that formless, whoever, super conscious energy. Arjuna is not saying that. Oh, the Brahma inside me is confused. That God inside me is confused. Please, the God inside you, oh Arjuna, oh Krishna, let the God inside you give me the guidance. It is not happening like that, right? Arjun is a human being, is a living entity, just like us, and Bhagwan is acting like a human being, but he is not a human being. Bhagwan is Bhagwan, he is not a human being. He has become a human being just for us, because that's the way he will reply. How will we understand? If he's some extra human, if he does not exist, if he's just a formless, we won't feel that nearness with him. That is why Bhagwan has become like us. People say Bhagwan is formless. He can create so many forms. He can't create a form for himself. Formless has taken so many forms. And he can't create a form for himself. He prefers to be formless. He can be both. He can be formless, he can be with form too. As we have taken a form, our Atma has a different body. And our outer body is different. We have taken a form. So here, the duality that Bhagwan is Bhagwan and Arjun is a living entity, and he has become the disciple, and he's asking Bhagwan, who is right now acting as Guru, and he's putting his sincere question in front of him, and he's asking Bhagwan to guide. And Bhagwan now says, what are you lamenting for? Let me remind you. You always existed. I always existed. Right now, we both are in this human form. But I will always exist. You will also always exist. Then he goes on saying, the sadness, the grief that you're expressing is just like the seasons. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So many qualities Bhagwan goes on describing for a sadhak. Here one quality is described. For a devotee or for a practitioner, for a person who is walking in the spiritual path, one should know how to tolerate things and not get disturbed. If your mind is disturbed in a lot of things, it will be very difficult for you to take this knowledge. So under all circumstances, one must hear these words and tell yourself, calm down, calm down. Nothing is going to happen. Everything is going to be good. All is well. No matter how much things are going bad around you, no matter you're going to lose some of your loved ones, but the teachings of Gita prepare one for such situations. Nobody is going to die. Everybody is going to live. As the soul form, they'll keep coming. So there is nothing for which you should lament. Situations in life may be bad today, but good times will also come. Even in the bad times, there are so many other good things to look forward. So one must not get perturbed. One must not get disturbed. Under all circumstances, one has to remain equipoised. O best of Arjun, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So here he goes on saying, number one, do not get disturbed. First of all, know you are always going to live there as a soul. Then do not get disturbed. Always be like the dhira. And then he says the qualities for liberation. Shloka number 15. Yam hina vyatitanti purusham purusha rishabha sama sukham dukham sdhiram samritat kalpate. O best of Arjun, one who is equipoised, who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. Nasato this is 16, Shloka number 16. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drishto antas tva anyostatva darshibihi. Those who are the seers of truth have concluded that of the non-existent material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So he says, O Arjun, since you are talking like a wise man, I am going to quote what the wise men say. And what are the wise men saying? He says, the seers of the truth, those who have seen the truth, they always say one thing. This material body, it will go away one day. There is no endurance. There is no endurance of the changing body. This is going to change and go away. The cells of the body, every second are changing. We never realize, right? We have grown up so much in age. We just feel we are that young person. Always. We never realize how many years we have lived on this planet. It just flies by. Only when you look at their school pictures and all, you know, oh, I was once upon a time we were young. But we still feel young. So here it says, there is no endurance for the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and the reactions of the different cells. And this is also admitted by the modern medical science. The body is undergoing birth, old age, Something is happening in the body every second. Right now, when we are talking, some cells are dying in the body. One wrinkle is coming out somewhere. We don't know. Over the period of time, we realize, oh, everything is sagging. But every second, this change is happening inside the body. So, what is there to think of? But the soul is just remaining as it is. The soul is not changing. The soul is just remaining as it is. So that is the difference between the matter and spirit. But by nature, the body is ever changing. The soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all the seers of truth, and both the impersonalist and the personalist. So impersonalist means those who say, oh, everything is, no, there is no form. So there are religions in the world which say there is no form of God. Don't say God incarnated like a human being. They don't want to hear that. You go to their places of worship, you will not see any form there. Either they'll be worshipping a book, whatever is their holy book, or they'll be worshipping, I don't know, something covered with something. But there is no form. They worship, they say there is no form. For me, I always feel, but you are worshipping the book. The book has a form. They'll put just a cross. The cross has a form. You go to the mosque, they have covered some green cover, they have some cloth over there. Something is there. Something has a form. How are you saying God is formless? Something you are trying to see him. Anyways, so even the impersonalists who say God is formless, but they also believe in one thing: this body is going to decay and the soul is always going to remain. And the personalist, they'll say, yes, it will take another body and it will come back again. That's the only difference. So the words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. That is a version of all seers of truth. So the impersonalists say, why are you, the way they will look at this body, why are you crying? This body is made up of 5 elements. The elements are going to mix up in the element. The earth element will mix up in earth. The water in the water element. The air in the air element. What is it that you're crying for? And your soul consciousness is soul is just consciousness. Consciousness is going to mix up in the bigger super consciousness. Done. What is there to cry? The seer, the other one, the one who believe in personal form, will say, what is there to cry? This body was anyway old. This body, it has changed. Next body it is going to get. What is there to cry? Do not cry for anything. So this is the beginning of the instruction of the Lord, by the Lord, to all the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. Removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of the eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself. The difference between oneself and the Supreme Personality of The difference between oneself and the Supreme Being understood as a relationship between part and the whole. In the Vedanta Sutras, as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural sequences. The living entities belong to the superior nature, as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. Although there is no difference between the energy and the energetic is accepted as the supreme, and the energy or nature is accepted as the subordinate. The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all the living entities for all time. So I'm giving the word enlightenment because people want enlightenment. You know, when people come to me, they're like, I just want to get enlightened. How does enlightenment feel? They think, you know, suddenly they will meditate and some big tube light will be on in their head, big bulb, you know, halogen bulb will just become illuminated and then they'll get the light. Really, I'm not kidding. This is how people's concepts are. But actually, enlightenment means what? Right now, you are in darkness, right? You want some light. Right now, why do you want light? Because you feel you are in darkness. What is the darkness about? The darkness is the darkness of ignorance. You are ignorant. So in order to be enlightened, all you need is the knowledge. If you get knowledge, Rarest lies, Jai Shri Krishna, if no bulb of light in the head. Disappointed, Rarest has left the chat. Oh, anyways. What I'm saying is, we are ignorant, right? We do not have the knowledge, and that is why we are looking for that knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, that's it. You are enlightened. All you need to do is get the knowledge. That's it. And this is what is being said here. The Lord taught us the Bhagavad Gita to give us this knowledge. The Lord is enlightening us. So far, we lived our life with our eyes closed. We never questioned. Then we fell into problems again and again, again and again, and again and again. Why? Because we are driving in ignorance. We are walking in ignorance. We are walking in darkness. We do not know the rules. We do not know the laws that govern us. We do not know why we have come, why we are living. And if we die, what is going to happen? We do not know. We lived our life, half of our life, just like this. So, Bhagwan, Lord, Krishna, enlightens us. He's giving the enlightenment. Enlightenment means knowledge. Knowledge. When we say the shloka for Guru, first shloka when I start always, ajïäna-timirändhasya jïänäïjana-çaläkayä. Oh my Gurudev, I was living in the darkest of ignorance. But you came and you gave me the torch of knowledge. And now I have the light. Now I won't fall off. Now I know how to walk this path of life. I understand. Now nothing can give me the pain, the troubles, because I know if I take one wrong turn, I'm going to get hit badly. Oh Gurudev, I'm thankful to you. You gave me the torch of light, and because of that, I'm able to understand everything. I am enlightened. So Bhagwan has given us, Krishna is called Krishna Mande Jagat Guru, Guru of all Gurus. He has given us the perfect knowledge for this yuga, and that is called Bhagavad Gita. And he started with saying, you are not this body, you are the eternal soul. One must always remember that. We are not this body, we are not any, whatever the names people have given us, we are not that. However people are judging us, we are not that. Whatever frame they want to put us in, we are not that. We are pure souls. We are free beings. That is what God wants us to enlighten. All right. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam midam tatam vinasham avayasya na kaschit kartum arhati. That which pervades the entire body. You should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Now here the 17th shloka, I'm going to read the meaning also, the purport for the 17th shloka, because now here Prabhupada has taken some shlokas from other Upanishads too. Now, Gita, which we are reading, is also Upanishad. Whatever is said in the Gita, some of the things, same things will be said in the other Upanishads too. That is why we say Gita is the essence of all Upanishads. So we are going to read shlokas from those Upanishads, and where it describes the size of the soul. For me, this was very enlightening. Again, I'm going to say, because you have to know when I started thinking, okay, I am a soul, I'm just a spark. But the theory helped me a lot. Okay, what is the size of the soul? I am not defined by this body at all. My height, my body, my looks, my hairstyle, no, doesn't define me at all. I am that little spark. And how tiny am I? When this body, whom I'm saying all the time, my body, one day I will die. And when I leave this body, how tiny will I be? The same spark is in everything. Wherever you go, you take seeds and you sow them, and then you see them sprouting. Life is sprouting out. It's the same tiny spark which is sprouting the life. And from one tiny seed, if you sow an apple seed, one tiny apple seed, such a big tree comes. That means it had so much spark in it. One tiny seed. Same spark is in us. Same spark is in the bacteria. Same spark in everything. That tiny spark is called the soul. And that tiny spark is taking different bodies. What is the size of the tiny spark? This was such a good topic for me to, I would be like contemplating on this so much. My spiritual, as we say, when people say we are spiritual, there are two kinds of people. Oh, we are not religious, we are spiritual. But do not be a pseudo-spiritual. For me, it was like, do not be a pseudo-spiritual. People say we are spiritual, so we will not do anything religious. We don't want to follow our traditions. But a spiritual person is spiritual, the word itself comes from spirit. A spiritual person is the person who knows about the spirit. The spirit exists in you. And that spirit is you. So when you say, I'm spiritual, do you know about yourself? This is my only question I always ask. You say you are spiritual. Do you know the signs of spirit? Do you know that you are that spirit? Do you know, as spirit, what will happen to you? Do you know? Do you know, as spirit, if you are that spirit, why you got embodied in this body? Do you know? You are that spirit and you have so much powers in you, but you are not able to experience that at all. You live like a helpless being. Then what is that talk of spirituality if you do not know who you are? Because to know, you will have to come to Gita. There is no other book that can talk about spirit soul in such a beautiful manner, the way Lord Krishna has explained it. You must know who you are. Then you know. If you know the science of spirit, if you know the talks of spirit, soul, then you know it. Then you are a spiritual. Don't be a pseudo-spiritual. So now we have a spirit in us or the soul in us. How do we know that? So Bhagwan says that which pervades the entire body. Okay, what is pervading the entire body? It is our consciousness. It is our consciousness that is pervading the entire body. How do we distinguish between a dead man and a living man? A living man is conscious. And a dead man, the consciousness, he's not even unconscious. The consciousness has left his body. And that is why he's dead. Something has left the body. That is why that big man is dead. Nothing can revive him. So something that is pervading the body, Bhagwan says, know that it is indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. So this body is, when I say, okay, this body exists because of the presence of consciousness. Even if somebody is in coma, he's lying there on the bed like a vegetable, but he's not dying. Because that full consciousness, that soul hasn't left. It is still there. People in coma, state of coma also, they can hear. So we have this physical body, then we have a conscious body. And when we say we're conscious, immediately the next word is conscious mind. So we have that other body inside, our conscious mind. And then there is third body, subconscious body or subconscious mind. And when do we experience the subconscious mind? In full, when we are sleeping. When we are sleeping. When we sleep, we forget all our bodily relation. We forget the physical body. We forget everything in deep sleep. We can't even hear any sounds, nothing. We are in that deep sleep. But in that deep sleep, sometimes you see dreams where you are awake. You don't know your name also in that deep sleep, but you know it's you. Somebody is giving you ice cream, you're eating it, you're feeling the taste of the strawberries and the chillness going in and then you see somebody coming with a big dagger to just hurt you, and then he comes and hurts you, and then you see yourself bleeding, and that guy is following you, and you are running in that dream, and you just want to wake up, and you wake up, and then you think, oh, thank God, it was a dream. But who was that man who was behind me with the dagger? You don't know. That man doesn't exist, but it is there. You felt it. You felt the chills, the ice cream chill or the chill of the killer. You felt it, the killer chill. So that is your subconscious body that exists. We experience that. So nature has made this arrangement for us. Understand this science. Our rishis, as I always say, rishis means researchers. The one who researches is rishi. The rishi started looking at this pattern. Yeah, there are 3 states. Waking, when you are conscious. Sleeping, when you are unconscious. And dreaming, when your subconscious mind awakens. And in that subconscious mind, you are feeling everything. Subconscious mind is so strong. Many times people wake up in their sleep and they go walking. They'll open the door, they'll walk, they'll come back, they'll sleep. They'll not even realize that they did sleepwalking. Subconscious mind is that strong. When subconscious mind sometimes takes over, it will take your body. So beyond the dream, something is happening too. So the subconscious mind is very powerful. Why is the subconscious mind experiencing fear when there is nobody to kill you? Why is it experiencing the taste of the ice cream when there is no ice cream? The researchers started thinking on this. How to tap into this subconscious mind and how to clear up all these feelings of the subconscious mind, whatever dreams it is showing, how to clear that up. If those things that is happening can be cleared up, that subconscious mind will be in a different state. And that state, they defined as the 4th state, Turiyaa. It is called Turiyaa, 4th state. It is called Kaivalya. These are different words. That 4th state is what is experienced in Samadhi. So the researchers went on, rishis, researchers, they went on. Every night I'm sleeping. As if some power makes me sleep. if I can just somehow consciously make the body sleep. Right now I'm sleeping, I'm helpless, I sleep, and in my subconscious mind wakes up in the dreams, makes all this. But if I can consciously control this body, and if I can consciously make this body sleep, then I can tap into the subconscious energy and I can know my subconscious real self. That will be me. And that is why they started getting into dhyana, meditation process. In meditation process, there is a thing called Surat Samadhi. That is what happened in Surat. You sit down, you meditate. First, you will feel that your feet is sleeping. It is becoming numb. But you don't get up. You practice slowly, you increase your sitting time. Then your calf will sleep. You don't wake up. You don't realize your calf exists or not, does not exist. Your thighs will sleep. Your waist will sleep. Stomach will sleep. Slowly, all that energy which was making all these parts operate, just like how it happens in sleep. You're forgetting your parts of body. Same thing happens consciously now. Slowly, every part is sleeping. Every part sleeps. The body, you are sitting, okay? Consciously you have done it now. Every part is slept. In fact, your inner ears, everything will sleep. But your subconscious now will be awake. And you can sit there for hours consciously. That subconsciousness that awakened now is called Samadhi. In Samadhi, you see yourself as you are. It's a process. It requires dedication, consistent, persistent effort every day. When you practice like this daily, a good chunk of your time you are giving in your practices. Researchers are doing that. Rishis, again, I'm saying rishis means researchers. They are doing that. A good chunk of their time, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, because they want to experience that. They gave it and they found it. You are a pure soul. All those impressions, what you were having, was happening because of your contact with the external world. Now, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, you're cutting off yourself from the external world and only trying to connect with yourself, knowing yourself. Here there is no mantra, nothing. And then you reach to the state of Samadhi. In the state of Samadhi, whatever little things you had, you know how to wash it off. It will get washed off. You experience that state of purity. And then you can come back in the world again. In the stage of Samadhi, now this is what I taught, is a process that you do to experience the existence of soul. As we go into chapter 6, I'll explain everything more in detail. But since the topic of soul came, and in that zone I went and I was trying to explain what soul is. Because soul, no matter how much I talk about it, I can only talk, I can only give you theories, but experience you have to do. You have to work on that. Experience is different. So we will get into the purport of Shloka number 17, because it's all started from there, because I was always obsessed with what is soul. And I wanted to go into the theory, and the theory then leads to another world altogether. So let us first understand the theory now, okay? Who we are. We are the soul. What is the size of the soul? So purport, this verse clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and the pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to the other. Therefore, each and every body is an embodiment of an individual soul and the symptom of a soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. The soul is described as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. So you take this hair, you take the upper portion of the point and you divide it. We can't even see the upper portion, right? And we have to divide it into 10,000 times. And the 10,000th part, they will say, is the size of the soul. So can you imagine? Minuscule. Can't even see. Not even in a microscope. Balagra, so the Chita Chapter Upanishad says, Balagra Shatya Bhagasya Chatada Kalpitasya Cha Bhago Jiva Savigneya Sachanantayaya Kalpate. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again, each of such part is further divided into 100 parts. Each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Similarly, the same version is stated in Keshagrasat Bhagasya Shatamsha Sadrishatmakaha Jiva Sukshma Swarupoyam Sankhyatito hi Chitkanaha. Again, this is in the purport of Shloka number 17. Because those who are translating, so I want you to read this purport very nicely and understand this purport. You'll be able to explain the size of the soul and where it has been quoted in the other Upanishads also, not only just in Gita, but in other books also. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms, which are measured as 1/10,000th of the upper portion of the hair. Therefore, the individual particle of spirit soul is a spiritual atom, smaller than the material atoms. And such atoms are innumerable. This very spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body. And the influence of such spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. He took an example. Like you take one medicine and the effect of that medicine is throughout the body. Similarly, the soul, it is like that. It is that tiny, tinier than the material atoms. But its effect is throughout the body. And everybody has that tiny soul. All of you are that tiny soul. First of all, start saying that I am a soul. I am that tiny soul. Then you will know what I'm trying to say. Because earlier when, if you just read the book, you'll think, oh, soul is something else. No, apply it to yourself. Then you will understand it much easier. This is how I have learned it. I am a soul. I'm not this body. I am a tiny soul. What is my size? My size is the size of this. And that's it. Size of my hair divided into 10,000. And then I would be like sitting, and contemplating on that for hours. Okay, that tiny part, that is me, is in everything. Oh, I have been in so many species of life. Sometimes I would watch National Geographic and I would see the lion attacking the deer. And before that, I must have read this chapter and I'll be like, so I was that one tiny spark, I was in that lion, one tiny spark, I was in the deer. This is how I have applied the teaching, contemplation the whole day. Oh, those bodies I have changed. The tiger ate the body of the deer. The body of the deer, where did it go? Decomposed. Things like that. But what happened to the spark? Spark has gone somewhere else. Spark will take some other body. Oh, through all this species I have come, now I'm in this body. This body will go. This spark will go. Where should this spark go the next? Now I have to be careful. This spark means this atom. Atom means this atom. Atom means soul. Atom, atom, atma, one word. This is the base of everything. Because in our human body, this atom, this atma has consciousness. In the non-living things, the same atom exists, but the consciousness is not there. It is there, but it's in a very light, very, very lesser quantity. Because if the consciousness is not there, imagine, whatever, even if you say it is a non-living thing, say if you see a big mountain, but the mountains are decreasing, every day. How are they decreasing? If there is no consciousness, it will not. It should be like that, but it decreases. Whatever material things you bring in this world, whatever, pick up anything, it has a shelf life. A non-living thing has a life. Is it not? We say this is a shelf life. So life is there everywhere. That life exhibits itself as consciousness. That spark is there everywhere. You have to understand. So this is how the contemplation goes on all the time. Gita teachings are not just memorizing the shlokas. I have never memorized even one single shloka. I get confused in shlokas, I'm telling you. But the contemplation, that made me, that took to the stage of so-called liberation, whatever you say. Contemplation. Whatever is there, it's just a play of atoms. Whatever, non-living or living, it's play of atoms. Only thing is when it becomes in a human body or a body, a living entity, it is called cells, and in a non-living thing, it's only atoms. To me, there is no such thing as non-living now. You take this pen, it looks non-living, but no, it is not non-living. It looks static, but within it, this is not static. It is just an arrangement of atoms and molecules, right? And how the atoms have been bound together. And in that atom also, the atom is not just stable. It looks very static. The atom is full of electrons, and the electrons are constantly in state of motion around the nucleus. So many atoms are making this pen together, and all of them are in constant state of motion. But to me, the pen appears like stable. But this pen also has a shelf life. One day it will go, disintegrate. It happens, right? Even though it's just plastic, it will disintegrate. It breaks by itself. How? What is it breaking? Big, plumbing issues happen in the houses. Big pipes, rusting, breaking. Because everything is just an arrangement of the 5 elements, but the 5 elements are made out of atoms. Atoms are constantly changing. This is what is matter. And then comes the spirit soul, Atma. It's the nucleus. It will not change. It is always going to be there. That spirit is always going to be there. Got it? So this is what they are explaining. Therefore, the individual particle of spirit soul is a spiritual atom, similar than the material atoms, and such atoms are innumerable. Even for atom, the definition is the same, right? The smallest indivisible particle. Science says the smallest indivisible particle is called an atom. God says the smallest indivisible thing in a living entity is Atma, soul. Got it? This is what it is. That in the living entity, that soul, that Atma, that Atom, that atom has consciousness. That's the only difference. The other one has, but it is very less. Got it? Now let's go. Therefore, this very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body, and the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine that spreads throughout the body. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness. So current of the spirit soul is felt as consciousness, and that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body, and this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the measurement of the atomic spirit is also further explained. It says, I'm not reading the shloka, the soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. And it is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air encircling the body, the pure soul, by different kind of sitting postures, not for any material profit, but for the liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So the continuity of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literatures, and it is also actually felt in the practical experience of any sane man. Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over the body. According to Mundaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity, and because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientist, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. The individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all the energies of bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. The corpuscles which carry the oxygen from the lungs gather energy from the soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion ceases. Medical science accepts the importance of the red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of all energies of the body. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord are atomic sparks of the rays of the Supreme Lord, called by the name Prabha or superior energy. So whether one follows Vedic knowledge or the modern science, one cannot deny the existence of the spirit soul in the body. And the science of the soul is explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita by the personality of Godhead himself. So this is the science of soul. Where is the seat of the soul? It says the seat of the soul is in the heart. So the entire body may become unconscious, but as long as the heart is pumping and you are breathing, the breath and the heart are maintaining the body. Even if somebody is in coma, he's breathing. So the breath and the heart is maintaining the body. The breath also goes away and then heart stops pumping. That means the soul is gone. That is the final death. So everybody realizes that heart is the main center from where everything is regulated. Text 18, he says, Bhagwan says now, Antavanta ime deha nityashokta sharirinaha anasino prameyasya tasmad yudyasva bharata. Bhagwan is now telling Arjun, the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Then 19, he says, neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain is in knowledge, for the self is not slain. For the self slays not, nor is slain. So he says, you spoke like an intelligent person. I understood. Now this is my logic. I am telling you what the rishis, what the seers of the truth say. You are grieving for these bodies. You are grieving for these relations. My uncle, my grandpa, my guru, my this, that. You're grieving for the relation. You're grieving for the bodily relation, the bodily attachment. But you gave your logic. Now I'm giving you the higher logic. The higher logic is nobody is going to die. And you're not going to slay anybody, nor anybody is going to get slain. Everybody will continue as the spirit soul, atomic spirit soul. So right now your fight is not for the bodies. You're not fighting bodies. You are fighting for religious principles. So remember the higher cause. This what you're doing is very small thinking. So become talk like a real knowledgeable person. And then we'll read the 20th and we'll end it up. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitavana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. He says, for the soul, there is no birth, there is no death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So I'll just read the purport and we'll end the class. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called steady or kutastha, something which is steady. The body is subject to 6 kinds of transformation. It takes birth from the womb of mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and lastly vanishes into oblivion. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born. But because it takes on a material body, the body takes a birth. You took a body and the body took a birth. You're always there. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth has also death. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc. of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old, as the body does. The so-called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body has no effect on the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree or anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls. And owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the 6 changes of the body. And we find in Katha similar passage, which has the same meaning as in the purport of the Bhagavad Gita. The soul is full of knowledge and it is full of consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart where he is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there. And we are convinced that it is therefore daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky, early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is the sky. Sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. The consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. So I'm reading the purport of 20 when you're going to translate. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Lord Shri Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. There are 2 kinds of souls, namely the minute particle, anu-atma, and the super soul, vibhu-atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha. Both the super soul, means Bhagwan, Paramatma, and the atomic soul, Jivatma, means living entities, are situated on the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living entity, and only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also. It will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjun is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, that is the spiritual master. So Arjun has forgotten his real self, and that is why he's lamenting. But once he remembers, okay, I am the soul and these are the soul and everybody's soul and everybody is being controlled by Bhagwan, that will happen in chapter 11. Once he sees everything, the clear picture, then he gets ready for fighting. Then all the illusion is gone. So for us, by reading itself, slowly and contemplating, reading, contemplating, and putting into practice, 3 things you must do. We read it like a theory, and we then don't practice, then it is not going to happen. As I told you, if I read about the soul, whole day I'm only thinking about the soul. I was. Now I live in that consciousness. That's the only difference. That is how you approach a subject matter. Be in that consciousness. All right. We'll end the class, but 2 questions are there. प्रणाम माँ, मुझे भागवत गीता का पूरा मीनिंग समझ में तो आता है, पर मैं सीरियसली उसको फील नहीं कर पाता, उसका कोई भी यूज मैं अपने जीवन में नहीं फील कर पाता, ऐसा क्यों होता है? कृपया मार्गदर्शन करें. So the question is, even though I know the Gita, I'm not able to apply it in my life. I'm not able to seriously feel, and I'm not able to apply in my life. I don't know, Deepak Kumar, what situations you try to apply, but I'm pretty much sure if you are walking in the spiritual path and whatever the questions are there, The answers are there. Even for material life problems, the answers are there. Second, आपने गीता किससे सुनी है मुझे नहीं पता, आपने कैसे श्रवण किया है, क्योंकि मैंने जैसे कहा ना, कई लोग श्रवण करते हैं, लेकिन श्रवण करने के बाद, सुनने के बाद उस पर मनन और उसको अपने जीवन में उतारना होता है। जब आप कहते हैं माँ भगवत गीता का पूरा मीनिंग समझ में आता है, पर मैं सीरियसली उसको फील नहीं कर पाता। अगर भगवत गीता किसी को समझ में पूरी आएगी, मैं आपको उत्तर दे रही हूं, उसके जीवन में कोई प्रश्न नहीं रह जाता। आपके जीवन में प्रश्न है? जिसको गीता समझ में आ गई, उसके जीवन में कोई प्रश्न ही नहीं रह जाता। तो आप कह रहे हो कि मुझे समझ में आ रही है, अभी आपने पूरी तरह समझी नहीं है, आपने पढ़ी है। जैसे एक बुक में लिखा जाए कि धर्म का मार्ग, धर्म यानी सत्य, सॉरी आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इन हिंदी फॉर बिकॉज द क्वेश्चन वाज इन हिंदी, आई एक्सप्लेन इन इंग्लिश आल्सो। धर्म का मार्ग है सत्य पर चलना, ठीक है ना? अब आपने पढ़ लिया, धर्म का मार्ग है सत्य पर चलना, धर्म का मार्ग है सत्य पर चलना, और आप पढ़ रहे हो, आपके समझ में आ रहा है धर्म का मार्ग है सत्य पर चलना। लेकिन वो पढ़ना और समझना तब होगा जब जीवन के हर परिस्थिति में आप सत्य पर चलेंगे। सत्य पर चलना होता है कि आप मन से भी सत्य पर चल रहे हैं, आप वाणी से भी सत्य पर हैं, आप कर्म से भी सत्य पर हैं। जो सत्य पर चलेगा सच में, उसके लिए वो लेसन क्या है? फिर उसको तो लेसन ना दो, फिर भी वो लेसन पी चुका है, उसको जी चुका है, उसको समझ नहीं बात। तो मैं समझ रहा हूं, लेकिन वो वैसे ही हुआ ना कि आपने लिखा हुआ है कि धर्म का मार्ग सत्य पे चलना, 10 लोगों को बोलोगे धर्म का मार्ग सत्य पे चलना, धर्म का मार्ग सत्य पे चलना, लेकिन जब जीवन की कठिनाइयां आ रही है, जीवन की जो सिचुएशन है, कैजुअली भी अगर आप झूठ बोल रहे हो, मैंने देखा है कैजुअल लोग झूठ बोलते हैं। कैजुअल झूठ बोलने में क्या है? कहीं लेट हो गए, अरे हमारे घर में ये हो गया था इसलिए हम लेट, मतलब सच्ची बात नहीं बताएंगे, कुछ और, लेट अपनी आलस की वजह से हुआ रहेगा, कैजुअली झूठ बोल रहे, बात बात में झूठ बोलते हैं। चेहरे पर मास्क लगा करके दुनिया के सामने हम कितने अच्छे बताते हैं, और लेक्चर देते समय स्टेटस देखो उनका मस्त रहेगा, धर्म का मार्ग है सत्य पर चलना, जोर जोर से बोलेंगे, क्योंकि जो सच में सत्य के मार्ग पे चलेगा उसको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, तो सत्य में जी रहा है। तो भगवत गीता जब आप कहते हो कि मैंने समझी, तो आपने समझी, फिर भी जीवन में यदि प्रश्न आ रहे तो ये आपने समझी नहीं है। समझना वो होता है कि इसको हमने अपने जीवन में क्या अप्लाई करना है, मेन तो वो बात है, क्या अप्लाई करना है। आप 18 के 18 अध्याय पढ़ोगे ना, जगह जगह में भगवान बहुत सारे गुण बताएंगे। जैसे अभी एक गुण बताया कि धीर होना, सुख और दुख में चंचल नहीं होना, ये आप अप्लाई कर पा रहे हो अपने जीवन में? गीता तो आपने पढ़ी है, ये आप अपने जीवन में अप्लाई कर पा रहे हो? एक जगह भगवान कहते हैं, सबसे बड़ा जो सीख देते हैं भगवान, मन मना भव मद भक्तो मद याजी माम नमस्कार, कि अपने मन को मुझसे जोड़ लो। आपका मन क्या भगवान कृष्ण से 24 घंटा जुड़ा है? आप बोलेंगे कैसे पॉसिबल है, संसार भी तो है ना। मैं आपको कहती हूँ पॉसिबल है। मेरा मन भगवान के साथ 24 घंटा जुड़ा है, संसार में रहते हुए भी। मुझे संसार भी भगवान की अभिव्यक्ति दिखती है। मन मना भव मद भक्तो, ये मेरे लिए शब्द नहीं है, ये जीवन है, ये जीना है। गीता पढ़ी है, पढ़ करके सब समझी है, तो मन की स्थिति ये हो जाती है जो मैंने आपको बताया कि भगवान कृष्ण का कभी किसी भी हाल में विस्मरण नहीं होता। संसार के हजारों काम हो, हजारों उतार चढ़ाव हो, कभी मन हिलता नहीं, आनंद की स्थिति कभी छूटती नहीं। सब खेल बाहर के दिखते हैं, लेकिन उस खेल में लिप्त तो होता नहीं। गीता किसी ने समझी, वो स्थित प्रज्ञ हो जाता है, उसकी प्रज्ञा कंफ्यूजन, स्थित प्रज्ञान, इसमें कंफ्यूजन नहीं है। वो उसकी जो स्थिति होती है, ब्रह्मभूत कहते हैं, ना शोचती ना कांक्षती, ना उसके अंदर डिजायर होती है, ना उसके अंदर कोई लेमेंटेशन, कोई दुख नहीं होता। ब्रह्मभूता प्रसन्नात्मा न सोचती न कांक्षती, वो हमेशा प्रसन्न रहता है। तो गीता अगर समझी किसी ने, अगर आपके अंदर ये स्थितियां आ गई हैं, आप ऐसी स्थितियों में जीते हैं, तो आपने गीता समझ ली। लेकिन आपके प्रश्न से तो लग रहा है कि अभी नहीं आई, ठीक है ना। गीता अभी आपने पढ़ी नहीं है, 18 अध्याय को फिर से पढ़ना, और गीता गुरु चरण में बैठ करके पढ़ना या भक्तों के साथ बैठ करके पढ़ना, इसी से गीता का पूरा ज्ञान समझ में आता है। So there was this question asking that I have read the Gita, I know the Gita, I understand the meaning of Gita, but I do not know where the practical application of Gita is. And so please give me a guidance. So the answer is, we say that we know the Gita, but do we truly know it? One is we have read it. And I was giving the example that in a book, if it is written that the way to Dharma is to walk on the path of truth. The way to Dharma is to walk on the path of truth. This is just a statement. You have read it in a book. Oh, what is Dharma? How do you reach Dharma? You will answer. The way to Dharma is the path of truth. You know it theoretically. But the path of truth, are you applying it? Where do you apply the path of truth? Mentally, are you truthful? In your speech, are you truthful? In your actions, are you truthful? Your mind, your speech, your actions, if all these three are not in sync with each other, you make a beautiful face in front of somebody and you go. I've seen in the world, they are best friends, you know. When they meet with each other, they'll be like, you are everything to me. I cannot be without you. And when they go back, and both the ladies will be going and attending the nice Bhagavad Gita lectures and satsangs and, you know, everything. Two best friends. And when the best friends are not in front of each other, okay, very great satsang is learned. Oh, we learned about truth, how truthful you have to be. And when they're not in front of each other, they're in some other company. Given a slightest chance, they will talk bad about the other person. And they appear as best friends. So are you walking that path of truthfulness? Under all circumstances. Are you aware that Krishna is my witness under all circumstances? And the goal of Bhagavad Gita is, they say, man mana bhava mad bhakto. He says, Krishna says, attach your mind with me. Always think of me. Then people question, how can we always think of him? We are stuck in the world. I say, I always think of him. Even if I'm stuck in the world, I'm just like you. But Gita teachings, I practiced it. The world does not seem to me a different place. The world is my Bhagwan's expansion, my Krishna's place, my Krishna's beautiful land, Mother Earth. My Krishna gave me this little place. Let me make it beautiful. My Krishna gave me all these people, beautiful souls to me. Let me do all beautiful stuff with them. I never feel anything is different from Krishna. Anything, nothing is different from Krishna. Nor me, nor you, nor this world. Everything is just a play of Krishna. I lived that. When they say, man mana bhav mad bhakto. Become, you are my part, he says. Yes, I truly practice that. I know. Not only you, him, not only me, all of you. You may not be practicing, but still you all are a part, I know. So knowing Gita, when somebody says, I know Gita, it is not just to read it and just know the theory. It is how you practice and what you become. There is a line, Bhagwan says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Those who have read and understood the Gita and practiced the Gita, they reach to a stage. It's called Brahma Bhuta stage of realization. And what is the quality of such a person? Such a person is always happy. Prasannatma. His soul is always filled with bliss. Na shochati, na kankshati. There is no lamentation and there is no desire. And it happens. It happens. I'm not saying my word. No matter what happens in the world, the inner state of that happiness is undisturbed when you're practicing the teachings of Gita. Na shochati, na kankshati. God gives in every chapter, especially when you read chapter 12, that is my most favorite. He has given so many qualities. If we have read the Gita, we have to start practicing those qualities. I'm not opening the chapter because if I start another 1 hour lecture will start. It was my favorite things. I did that. I practiced it. It was for me sadhana. I asked people, make Gita your sadhana for another 6 months. Just listen to the chapter. That also I see how much difficulty people have in committing. For me, Gita is my life. Everything he spoke, everything he spoke. I would cry for hours. I felt he's just talking to me all the time. Every time, if I made a mistake, if I lived the life that previously how I was living, my life was good, it's like life good means little bit mistakes. And as I said, casual lying. Casual lying is not considered lying. Harmless lying, not considered lying. But later I started realizing when I started living as per the principles that no, even that harmless lie, even that casual lie, how it affects the quality of my consciousness. I don't want that. Even that little bit of ego, how it affects my consciousness. I know that. God has warned me for that. Krishna has warned me for that. Even that expectation, little bit of expectation from somebody to tell, oh, how good are you? How it affects my consciousness, I know that. Even that little bit of criticism if somebody has given to me, how that affects my consciousness, I know that. And Krishna is taking me, teaching me every chapter after chapter is teaching me, come out of this, come out of this, come out of this, come out of this, come out of this. Only think of me, only think of me, only think of me. How he has helped throughout the pages, every shlokas. I can go on and on and on and on. To understand Krishna, that is what it is. To understand Gita, this is what it is. To change yourself, to reach to the stage of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na sochati, na kankshati, to reach to that stage that where your heart is always full of bliss, always full of bliss, as if you're in a deep ocean. The changing material nature, the changing world, the changing situation does not disturb you at all. That is what understanding Gita is. But for that, you have to really understand Gita with a guru or in the company of devotees. That is one mystery of Gita, which I vouch for. It is not easy to understand Gita. If somebody thinks I can read and understand, no, they will not. You have to be with a guru. You have to walk on their path. You have to gain inspirations from them. They are the one who will inspire. They are the one who will bring out the meaning of Gita. I wandered. I went to saints. Those qualities which Bhagwan described in Gita, I wanted to see such saints. Do they really exist? Not the saints who are, so-called famous saints. I went to saints in bottle corners of India who are not popular. But yes, I saw them practicing this. Saw them. So to learn Gita, we have to learn it through the devotees who have practiced it. Here I come when I say, I'm saying for myself, but I'm telling you, I am trying to only represent all those saints whom I have met who don't come in public. And you are not making the journey to go and see them, and whether you will see them or not even possible, possibly for many of you. So when I sit here on this seat, it is not only Bhagwan's lesson, it is the lessons of all those different saints who are always popping up in my head. When I'm speaking, even one example, if I give, some saint will be there with whom I have associated, even the 5-minute association, the 10-minute association in some cave of Himalaya, in some mountain of Himalaya, or some Rishikesh, or some Jagannath Puri, or somewhere. So many saints here all the time. Apart from my own father, apart from my line of gurus, not just one guru. When I say the Guru Tattva is everywhere, I have. Reading Gita is seeing those saints who practice it. That is what I try to explain to people, Learn Gita, learn Gita, learn Gita. You have no idea what Gita can make you, what potential it has. Learn as 18 chapters, make it your sadhana. You will do it no matter what. And then the next step, you will practice it no matter what. Then you will realize it will take you to the stage which Bhagwan is talking about. 100%. Takes away all fears. All right. Question. So Arjun is fighting for the religion, or in fact, he is fighting because Krishna is teaching to the humanity through Arjuna lesson, which is the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, he's fighting for religion. He's not fighting for body. He's fighting for the truth. He's a military man, and Krishna's main thing was, if you do not fight, you are a fighter number one. You are from the royal family number two, and then you have the strength. In your family, the entire family, all your brothers and your mother are very religious. So you are very strong people. But sometimes religious people, they become weak. They'll say, oh, we don't want to fight. A religious person should not be coward. In fact, they will stand for their, whatever stand they have taken, the stand of truthfulness. Okay, and they will fight without any cunningness. People who are on the wrong side, they will fight, but they will use all their cunningness. They can droop to any level. But a person who is on the right side, like Arjun, we have seen his character. He is forgiving. He does not want to fight. His family does not want to fight. They are ready to lose things. They weigh their options. But a person like Duryodhana, they can go for anything because they are driven by their greed. Here, the family is not driven by the greed. So Krishna is trying to make them understand. I understand. He says, I understand you and your point. But you cannot allow these kind of people who are driven by greed to rule the kingdom. They will destroy everything. You are strong. Do not talk this language of compassion now, because you are allowing the oppressor to become stronger. And the oppressor, if he becomes stronger, if you do not protect, he will go on oppressing so many people. You don't want this cycle to continue. You are strong enough to give him a big fight. So do not talk like this. You're fighting for a bigger cause. You're fighting for the protection of so many others who are weak. So think of the bigger cause. Okay. So yeah, Arjuna is fighting for religion. So is that soul plus mind, consciousness plus subconscious is equal to entity, or does the soul itself without the mind also has a personality? Soul's body. See, soul is a spark. The body is the subconscious mind. We see English there has only the one word mind, but yeah, subconscious mind is the body. When we reach chapter 8th, 9th, until 13th especially, you will understand this division very clearly. Okay. But for now, just understand soul, when it leaves the subconscious body, chit. Soul, we say Sat Chit Anand. So use these words. Soul is equal to Sat Chit Anand. Sat means the truth. Soul is the truth. Chit means the consciousness. Soul is the consciousness. And Anand means the nature of the soul is bliss. So this is the body of the soul. Sat, Chit, Anand. Eternal consciousness, eternal bliss. So when your body leaves, when your soul is leaving, or when your soul is inside, if the qualities of Anand, then why is not Anand there? Qualities of bliss. If the quality of the soul is bliss, then where is that bliss missing? Why are you not being in bliss all the time? This question, you're getting it? So then you start analyzing, okay, what is happening in the subconscious mind? How is the subconscious mind getting into all these things? So that understanding will come as we go into 6th chapter, 7th, 8th, 9th, till 13th. Got it? So for now, yes, soul plus consciousness. Soul and consciousness are just one. You can say like that also. Got it? All right. Just wondering, since mind is often described as made of Maya, does the personality I and Maya's reflection, mind's reflection, ahankar, pure consciousness, and pure consciousness reflection is ahankar. That is the I. It's like I I exist, I look into the mirror. So the mirror image is my reflection, but it looks exactly like me. If I talk to the mirror will also talk back to me. So ahankar, that I that you're saying, that I is the reflection of the pure you. Okay. But that I have to be like as pure as you, is it not? But if you say the mirror, if the mirror is clear, great. If you just put a red transparent some film on it, okay, and now you look at yourself into the mirror, you are the same person, but how will you appear in the mirror? You'll appear red. You put a blue tinge, you'll appear blue in the mirror. It's you, but the color is changing. How? Because of that film. Blue color, red color, yellow color, whatever you want to put, rainbow color, you will look like that. Filter. Like in Snapchat, they put the filter and they change you. But the filter that you have put is changing your original self. That filter is Maya. That filter is Maya. Those colors are the color of the three gunas. If somebody removes that filter, then you see yourself as that pure being. That filter is Maya. That other person is the ahankar, I. You are the pure soul. You are the pure Atma. Got it? All right. I hope you understand, but you will understand. Think on this. And then when we go in chapter 6, you'll have to come back to these chapters again and again, Amman, okay? All right. माँ मेरे साथ भी मुझे माता रानी से बहुत कुछ कनेक्ट होता है, पर जब कृष्ण जी या और गुरु के बारे में समझा रहे होते आप, मुझे वो कनेक्ट क्यों नहीं फील? अभी नहीं होगा बच्चे, होगा तुम्हारे को, ऐसा नहीं है हर्षदीप। सुनो, अभी तो तुमने शुरू किया है, माता रानी से तुम्हारे को कनेक्ट क्यों हुआ हर्षदीप? माता रानी से तुम्हें कुछ इच्छा थी, इच्छा से माता रानी से तुमने कनेक्ट किया। अंडरस्टैंड? यहां जब मैं ले आ रही हूँ कृष्ण के पास, मैं कोई इच्छा की बातें नहीं कर रही हूँ, मैं तो केवल ज्ञान की बातें कर रही हूँ। तुम्हें लग रहा है ये ज्ञान मेरे किस काम का? अभी तो शुरू किया है भगवान ने ना, 18 अध्याय हो जाने दो, और जो भी अब तुम सुन करके जाओगी 18 अध्याय के बाद तुम्हें समझ में आएगा ये है क्या चीज। ठीक है, अभी जस्ट शुरू हुई क्लास। सो छोड़ना नहीं, 18 अध्याय तुम्हारे जीवन की साधना है, कर लेना। गुरु के सानिध्य में अध्याय मिल जाए सुनने के लिए, बाद में सुनना होगा नहीं होगा पता नहीं, अभी मिला है, अभी मौका है, सुनना बहुत जरूरी है। सो Harshdeep is saying that I am able to relate to other devis, but I am not able to relate to Krishna. Why is it so? So one of the answer was, you are able to relate to Devi because you are worshipping Devi with some desire in your mind. And you know, if I worship Devi, my desire will be fulfilled. And that is why you started whatever the techniques were given, and you started doing that. And then your desires, if they get fulfilled, you feel happier and you feel related. But with Krishna's topic, when we are reading Gita, it is pure knowledge. Here we are not discussing, oh, by worshipping this will happen, doing by this. No, we are not talking all that. We are talking pure knowledge, because Krishna knowledge is Gita, it is liberating. It will take you to the highest stage. There are 4 things for which we all are working: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma means religion. Artha means something that we desire. Artha is finance also, goals. Kama is your desires. So these are the 3 things main, and the 4th one is liberation. These 3 things will bind you. But the 4th stage is liberation, that unbinds you. That is discussed in Gita. And it's discussed in very easy manner. That is why right now we are talking about the soul, but you don't know what soul is. No matter how many times I'm telling you are the soul, but you don't relate with that. Because your mind is so attached with the body and the bodily relations. The bodily relations. If something happens with the relations around you, you're disturbed all the time. Somebody says something to you, you're disturbed. Your mind is disturbed. You'll keep crying all the time. But you do not know what is the relation between the mind, the body, and that external relation who created the problem. Gita goes to that point. That why are you getting disturbed because somebody said something to you? Why are you getting disturbed because somebody judged you? Why are you getting disturbed? Why are you getting so happy because somebody said, oh, they love you, and now they are not there? Why are you getting disturbed? Nothing in this situation. Why are you getting disturbed when you had a lot of money? Oh, you were enjoying life. Now you don't have money. People have left you. And when you had money, there were so many friends around you. Oh, wow, you had parties, great parties. Now when you don't have money, the same people are talking bad about you everywhere. You are the same person who made tons of money. You are the same person who has lost everything. All these people whom we call friends were very good friends once upon a time. All parties. Now they are not there. They're all talking bad about you so much, and when you hear it, hurts you. Why? So Krishna takes you till there, being detached. Okay. Here there is nothing. Oh, Krishna, can I pray to you something so that all my friends are always in favor of me? Can I offer you something so that my enemies don't think bad about me? Oh, Krishna, no, these talks are not there. He's like, forget about all that. I am only your best friend. Everything else does not matter. And I'm going to teach you, give you the true knowledge by which nothing else matters. Yet you will live in this world, you will do all your duties perfectly. Because in the end, it's only me who matters. Got it? So like that. क्या बिना कनेक्ट के भक्ति है, उनको पूजा करना सही है? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही है. उन्हीं के साथ तो कनेक्ट है और किसी के साथ कनेक्ट नहीं है. ठीक है ना? एक्सेप्टेड है. यस, 100% एक्सेप्टेड है. ये जो तुम पढ़ रही हो ना, सुन रही हो मेरे साथ 1 घंटे रोज, ये कनेक्ट है. यही तो कनेक्ट करवाना चाह रहे हैं जो तार टूटा हुआ है. सो यही मैं कनेक्ट कराना चाह रही हूँ. तुम भूल गए उनको. भगवान बोल रहे हैं मुझे क्यों भूले भाई, मैं ही तो सब कुछ हूँ. उनके साथ कनेक्ट करना, ये पढ़ना भी, ये सुनना भी भगवान की वाणी. लोग बोलते हैं ना भगवान कहाँ बोले हैं. आप माता रानी से बोल रही है कि आपने कनेक्ट किया, ठीक है ना. माता रानी कहाँ बोली है? मुझसे बात करिए माता रानी कभी? अच्छा, कहाँ, किस बुक में बात करी है बताओ. सोचो. तो भगवान, हम बोलते हैं हमने कनेक्ट किया, लेकिन किस तरीके से हमने कनेक्ट किया. अगर मेरा कनेक्शन किसी के साथ है तो मुझे उसके बारे में जानना चाहिए ना. या वो मेरे से बात करना चाहिए. अब मेरे से बात ही नहीं तो मेरा क्या कनेक्ट है उससे. कोई जो भी वजह से हमने कनेक्ट किया. तो भगवान की बात अगर आपको सुननी है तो भगवान ने गीता में बात की, तो भगवान की बात सुननी चाहिए. इसलिए अब जो आप सुन रहे हो ना वो भी कनेक्ट ही है. ठीक है. All right. So she asked me that, okay, I don't have the faith in Krishna and I am not connected to him. I don't feel the connect, but is it okay to still, do the worship and is it accepted like that? So I said, yes, it is accepted. When we are sitting every day 1 hour and reading this Bhagavad Gita, this is how we are connecting with him. When we say we love this deity, we love that goddess, we love that person, why have you loved that deity or that goddess or that person? And if you say you are connected to that particular deity, how much do you know about that deity? If you say I love so-and-so goddess, how much do you know about that goddess? If I say, I love my husband, I know about my husband. Maximum things I can tell. If I say I love my friend, I know so many things about my friend I can talk about. I love my kids. I can talk about my kids. Something, not 100%, but something. I love my country. I love America. I can talk about America. I can say what I love. But I say I love. But I don't know why I love. So we have to, make that thing, right? So when we are worshipping a devi or a devta, why did we first approach them? We first approached those devi or devta to fulfill our desires. And we felt very confident that if I worship this devi devta, my desire will be fulfilled. So we got connected with that devi devta only for the desire. And our desire got fulfilled, so we felt that love for them. But love is beyond. We don't love people only for their gifts. It's like, loving a man and only if he gives you the diamond ring. Love is beyond diamond rings. Love is beyond those gifts, whether he gives a ring or not. If I just see him, I'm in love, right? Love is like that. So when you're loving Ma, what is it that you're loving for? Is it for the diamond and the riches and the desires, or you're just loving for the sake of loving her? Gaurav writes, I wish I would have met 10 years back. No, every time is perfect time, Gaurav. Because you went through all those experiences throughout those 10 years, now you are prepared enough to get the teachings of Gita. So whatever time God has decided is the perfect time. If you had met me 10 years back, I would not have even spoken to you. I was so lost in my own world, in my own sadhana. I didn't want to be on public platform. So yeah, I wish I would have met you 10 years back and would have heard and understood Sri Krishna's word back then. I would have saved years of my life and useless wanderings. Those are not useless wanderings. Through every wanderings, you have learned something, and all those eagerness has led you here. प्यासे को पानी पिलाओ ना तो उसको पानी का स्वाद समझ में आता है. ऐसे भरे पूरे को क्या आता है? So if somebody is really thirsty, then you give them water, then they know the value of water. So if you have been through all these wanderings, it is good that thirst led you to Bhagwan Sri Krishna's teaching. So now you will understand the value of it, and you will give that to everybody else. All right. Okay. Too much time in contemplation. Thank you, Ma, so much to contemplate in this satsang. Yes, so much. And we have 18 chapters, so we have a lot of time to contemplate. All right, so we will close the class now. Thank you for this heartfelt teaching, Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, everybody. All right, Jai Ma. Jai Ma.